What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 3 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Count Noctilus Old World campaign. So as we saw last time, a pretty eventful episode that saw us complete the destruction of the southern enemies and move northward. We got Captain Roth's Moondial via the quest and the very nice campaign movement range buff that it offers, essentially, I think, maxing us out when we have the quest buff up and running that gives us additional movement, and then of course destroyed the first stack of Scrag the Slaughterer, main stack probably, since that was his main army, and we'll be looking to try to wipe them out this episode. We're still looking to consolidate and take the entirety of the Maelstrom and the Galleon's Graveyard for ourselves, and well, hopefully we can achieve a lot, if not all of that, in this episode. That's the plan anyway. It really does depend on how much resistance we face from the other smaller factions after Scrag is gone. Now, in terms of what we got to do this turn, I am not sure that there's anything. Count Noctilus, building, we are actually looking good. I guess we can just end the turn. Wow, okay, immediate editing, I guess. And then proceed towards the Disciples of the Maw, either here or at Hellfish Isle. Oh, wait, let me just... Oh, okay, actually, no. I was going to say we should check our heroes to see, because we've got a bunch of heroes that we need to get on field to prepare for new armies, and we don't have the money for it right now, but our money is growing, so we're getting there. We're getting there. Unassigned skill points, we'll skip it for now. It's end the turn. Let's proceed. Oh, also, while the turn is ending, I'll take the opportunity once again. While the turn is ending, the engagement threshold has been reached, so what the heck are you doing? Death Cheater Chungus Mountain Breaker? Why would you do this? Are you insane? You have no chance here. This isn't even worth fighting, is it? I'm just gonna auto-resolve. We're gonna lose the deckhands mobs. I guess we were never gonna keep these mobs anyway. We were going to replace them with boarding crew very soon because we're about to get access to them, in fact, so almost right now. Just auto-resolve. It's not worthy of our attention here. And let's take the ransom captives, whatever. And goodbye to those units. Anyway, as I was saying, engagement threshold was reached, so we will be doing the longer episode for this particular episode, and the engagement threshold remains, at least for now, 500 likes and 70 comments, and the next episode will be an hour-ish long as well. Sometimes it's a little over, but at least an hour. Let's say that. Especially in the old world, I do have a little bit of a difficult time maintaining the exact sort of time, because I never know what exactly the length of the episode is. You got to remember that every single turn ended is editing time, as in things that have to be cut out of the episode. I don't keep track of how many turns end, how many turns need to be cut out, etc., etc. And then, of course, there's the battle numbers. Every single battle, depending on the commentary and the length of the battle, could be long, short, etc., etc., etc. So it's hard to keep track. It's not just my hatred of clocks, I assure you, though it has certainly grown to be a meme in the comments at this point. Anyway, I guess this is one turn I will not, in fact, be editing out, as we're nearly there. Down to 363 enemy factions, but it'll take a long time to reach the 200-ish that we have in the Drajueth campaign right now. Alright, and there we go. Nemesis Crown, Visions of the Empire, sure, a miserly hoard of treasure, raised dead cost reduction by efficient necromancy, and what do we have here? At the end of your turn, have an income of 6,000. Oh, I think we can achieve that. Pyrotechnic Compound, range plus 18, interesting. And Torn Banner of Pilgrims, Frenzy. Well, it's pretty much universally useful on a lot of our units. Alright. Alright, now, looks like this guy's here. We don't really... I was thinking we might want to raise... Oh, yes, we do have an... Yeah, okay, wait. Altar of the Abyss. Huh, these two altars never leveled up yet. Oh, okay. Maybe raise an Altar of the Abyss, and we can raise a Batwing Bombard, too. That's nice. They're quite cheap. I'm just thinking prepare multiple armies at the same time. Okay, you know what? Before we do that, let's see what buildings we have to be building, and then we'll figure that out. I've come to the conclusion that the ghost fences or whatever, the adjacency bonus ones, don't seem to work. So we'll just do the buildings that buff up the ports in general, which is the scurvy dog pits everywhere. I mean, it is all regions and province, and every province in this territory has a port, so it's still very nice piles of cash, even if it would be more if the adjacency bonus seemed to be functional. Although 1200 is a bit expensive. Let's see whether there are other things to build, like the plunder pile here for 800, reasonably cheap. We got another port up and running. And another one of these, doubling the money that it brings. Okay, let's do that. And we get another one of these here. We do want to upgrade these, but I do want to, at the very least, raise the stuff that we can't easily recruit or raise. I mean, 585 and 98 versus recruiting the Batwing Bombards cost 855 and 98. It's actually cheaper to raise them than it is to recruit them, meaning we're probably better off raising them. All right, fair enough. Let's do this then. You, Noctilus, are at 19 out of 20 because the Morngul Haunter will need to move into your army. So, can we raise 1 or 2 Batwing Bombards? Just the 1 so far. Alright, fine. Let us raise you, Ultra of the Abyss, right now. You can grab the Ultra of the Abyss. Doesn't really matter which one. This one and one of the Batwing Bombards. Like so. Then Noctilus, you will raise another Batwing Bombard for yourself, like so, rather than build it because it's more expensive. And we'll hold off on the regular mortars, though. Obviously, we're going to be using an artillery-heavy army at some point. Then we'll have Noctilus. Well, actually, travel a lot. Can you reach this place? By the looks of it, no. By the looks of it, you cannot. All right, so we'll have to use Noctilus to do it. Fair enough. Noctilus, you're going to go here. And then Jimbo Butler, you're going to get into Noctilus's army, and then we'll use Harry and Stand to reinforce in a second. Also you, while you're at it, because it's going to bother me otherwise. You're going to leave this army, you're going to pop on in, and then you're going to get back into the army. And just so that they're easier to select. It saves precious seconds, guys. Harry, you are going to, I guess, march stance, full speed stance, whatever, right here. Keep leeching that XP. You're level 11 now, which is working reasonably well for us. Makes me think that we may want to raise another lord just to leech additional XP. Yeah, do this. I'll resolve, and hello, Dragonfire Handgun. Ooh, this is actually a decent pickup for us. Because reasons, and those reasons are, we wanted to make a fire army eventually. We don't have a lot in the way of fire damage as yet, but, well, actually, you can probably... hold on to this for now. You do some, range... Oh, you do range damage now. You just got your Necrofex Colossus. I didn't realize that'd get you up to rank 18. Okay, well, that's lovely. Hold on to the Black Pearl False Eye, I guess. Save the Talisman of Preservation for you afterwards. Also, what do we have here? Spotter's Spyglass, as I recall, a relatively useless item, and while I do like the Potion of Foolhardiness, I think it's more useful to fuse it into hopefully something better. Like another Dragonfire Handgun, fair enough. Those will work. These guys don't have fire damage, so we may as well give one of them the other Dragonfire Handgun. Like so. Anyway, what I was saying was we will eventually erase the Gallows Giant, Necrofex Colossus with Flamethrower, which is also a fire type unit. And, ooh, Executioner's Axe. That's even nicer than the poison. Alright, area. No, you're not getting that. We'll pop that thing on... What did we even get that from? I don't know. We'll pop that on you. Very, very nice. Alright, I'm pretty darn happy with that. Nice finds this episode already. Also, technologies. Let's maybe start moving through their admirals, astrolabes. I mean, we've reached gunnery crews down to 1. And we do want to get the shipbuilding admirals up and running reasonably quick, so there is that. Then, Noctilus, I would like you to build the cannons so that you have access to this stuff. We got, ooh, Ghost Helmsman. Ooh, wait. What we actually should do is build this thing, because we now have access to boarding crew, and actually rather shortly we should actually have access to depth guard. which are admittedly stupidly expensive, but hopefully by then our economy will be flourishing. Leave the Terrorgeist Crow's Nest for now. We got other stuff. Might as well build this. This gives us another gunnery weight capacity. And this gives us another army ability, I suppose. Why not? Alright, I'm excited at the prospect of the fire army. Maybe even combine bombers, explosive bats. Wait, do the Batwing Bombards do fire damage? Surprisingly, no. I guess it's explosive damage and not fire damage, but the bombs do fire damage. I wonder if we can pick up a Banner of Eternal Flame. That might deal with that. But anyway, what I was thinking was we combine the corpse gas spewers with some fire units and to sort of ignite the corpse gas type of deal. The corpse gas is not fire damage itself, but I do kind of like the idea of the combination. Plus, they're flamethrower adjacent units, right? After all. Anyway, Noctilus, let's level you up. We have most of your defensive stuff up and running. I'm inclined to say maybe we still get tenacity, though. Not so much for the upkeep production, but for the 15% hit points, which is, oh, actually, at 3 points, it's not as worth it. We're probably better off getting Scarred Veteran or Hard to Hit. In fact, let's start with Scarred Vet, maybe. You're already fairly hard to hit. We should probably go for Evasion as well. Anyway, lots of good stuff in there. We'll get to it, we'll get to it. Anyway, I believe we still have a tiny bit of cash remaining. Let's see what we can build. I guess we could build one of the first port things. Scurvy Dog Pits. I don't want to go too hard on raising stuff and building crew, at least for a couple more turns. So yeah, alright, that's another end turn unless I'm mistaken, so let's end it. We gotta get towards these guys. In fact, you maybe move, I don't know, this way. Probably won't be able to reach this in one go, but we'll get close. Alright, there we go. Looks like these guys might have a full stack by the time we reach the place, and I love the casualty replenishment rate, but we gotta go for even more movement range. Just gotta keep spamming that. A plan of action. The night sky bleeds purple. The wind of Shyish is strong, instilling the crew with newfound vigor and strength. Now is the time for action, for conquest, and for using this magical boon to our advantage. Should we control the seas or turn our attention to new lands? Always control the seas, in the name of Stromfells. Let's go right here, and I'm gonna hope that we can land at Hilfashel. I mean, yeah, we definitely can't do it by land, although if we go by land, well, no, let's go by sea. I was just talking up and going by sea, so we may as well. Oh, we get that substantial income successfully. Lovely. Alright, Torn Banner of Pilgrims and Pyrotechnic Compound. We'll put it on... well, not Noctilus, we'll put it on the gunnery white, this gunnery white, at least for now. And then we'll... wait, did I just take something? What did he have before? Not the Crown of Command, we're not really using that. Okay, I guess not. What about ancillaries? What do you do again? Construction cost reduction, and then Torn Banner of Pilgrims has to go in the Lord, but I fear that Noctilus doesn't have space for it anymore. He will swap out the Ship's Carpenter and Siren eventually, and I guess same thing for the recruitment cost, Ship's Necromancer eventually, but not right now. You know, the Standard of Discipline probably doesn't provide us all that much use, and the Frenzy is nice. Which these guys already have. I wonder if the boarding crew have it. Might put it in the other army. Anyway, it's time to land. Oh, you can't land in this one, eh? It's one of those. Well, that's a shame. That's a shame indeed, but oh well. Go right here, close to it at least. And then we will go into Dreadfleet or Flagship Expansion, and then Airy, you're gonna go right beside him, and we're just gonna hope that these guys don't immediately try to go after one of our locations. But if they can't... well, if we couldn't reach them, there's no reason to think that they can reach us. Anyway, upper deck, we gotta get to that boarding crew for the second army to get underway. But otherwise, I think we're not going to use up any more population costs because we're rapidly approaching tier 5, and we definitely want that ASAP. Alright, also, wait. This unlocked the ability to build the Wraithstorm Carronades, so if we wanted to, just to try them out, we could replace some more units, although this army is starting to look like it's all artillery and, I don't know, single entities. I still think it's the right move to level the single entities, even if they don't necessarily stay in this army, so let's wait a little bit. We're nearly there. We got more money to make after all via various building. We'll start with the Scurvy Dog Pits here. And we should probably level up one of these up to tier 3. Let's start with that. That seems to be the more prioritized thing to do. And then income from ports versus, I guess, income from ports, but this is more bang for our buck, I guess. Let's do that. All right, nice. Working on it. Meat market. We don't have one in the main territory, but that's not something we can do about it right now. Anyway, skip, I guess, and turn, and we'll go for Hellfish Isle, which actually isn't quite, well, frankly, these guys aren't well defended generally speaking, so they best get recruiting. Alrighty, the mightiest fortress, upgrade any settlement building to tier 5 or level 5. I wonder if that counts our shipbuildings. Well, I guess we'll find out rather quickly, or rather soon. A user, ooh, wow, you can actually reach this, well, actually, no, you can't, but, alright, you know what? We'll use Ariane's stand to besiege this place. If they run, we'll chase them down with Noctilus and take the place with Ariane's stand, and if not, we'll just fight. Alright, so you're gonna go right there, sir. And let's see how they react to this. They will not run. Huh. Well, I'm kind of impressed. Do we need to level up for this particular battle? I think not. I think we'll be just fine. So let's fight it as it is and level up afterwards. Ooh, lead belchers. Good. Okay, that was barely a speech. I think that was 1 or 2 words, basically, but all good. I suppose you don't want to talk too much, because Noctilus might hear you. You were just a minion after all, at least for now. Ari Anstand will get his own army eventually. Now, let's see what we got in terms of the enemy. Big old blob, though there are a lot of Nobblers here. There's some ogres, but probably too many Nobblers for the enemy. There are, however, a lot of blood vultures, which are not very good units in the sense that they're too fragile, but for the enemy's purposes and the amount of artillery that we have, they might be able to achieve something with them. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. Anyway, we're gonna make our way onto the field, just sped up while we do, and just for fun, rather than obliterating the enemy all the way from like the other side of the map with Queen Bess, which we could very well do. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to move a little bit closer. Might make the battle a little bit more interesting. Plus, there's a lot of hills around, and I'm not so sure we'll be able to fire easily because it interferes with the ability of the handgunners to fire their shots. Anyway, fire their guns. There we go. That's what I meant to say. Anyway. There we go, that's reasonably close, and a very short distance away. We got all this extra range, and Queen Bess can fire like twice the distance. But why not? Make the battle a little bit more interesting once again. Anyway, time to fire away. Noctilus and his Necrofex Colossus ready to go. Still the texture is kind of being wonky on the Necrofexes, but what can you do? It seems that they go wonky when you're too close for some reason, but I feel like it only happens on the darker maps, so on the brighter maps it is fine. Anyway, they're going to fire away at whatever they can. The Necrofexes in particular are going to go after the enemy lead belchers, though we will look to acquire a few lead belchers of our own, and just for fun. I do think that the lead belchers would be vastly inferior to deck gunners, but at least they'll be a little bit less fragile. Are deck gunners the most fragile unit in the game? They're just so incredibly fragile. Anyway, here we go. The Bat Bombards and Queen Bess working together as well. And I do really like that combination. The Noctilus might not keep Queen Bess, and in fact, there is potential for a sort of building another army around Queen Bess and just tons of Batwing Bombards, and just this sort of horrific carpet bombing type of deal that we can do. Granted, it'll probably not be so good against the single entities, but against piles and piles of units, it'll be pretty fantastic. Maybe we should take it to fight the Skaven and stuff. Anyway, it looks like that has annoyed the enemy, and they're charging forth with blood vultures and with the saber tusk pack alike. I see that the devs still haven't fixed the stupid little column formation thing that units have a tendency to do. I remember when this was introduced, and I remember going, "What the heck? Why did they do this?" and they still haven't managed to fix it. What's the deal? But it is at least nice to see that it affects the AI to some degree, in the sense that it's not just the player. Anyway, the enemy failed to charge on through, at least with their saber tusks, and the blood vultures are still moving forward, and it looks like the ogres are attempting to go towards our necrophexes. Of course, the summons from Noctilus will mean that the enemy will get stopped in their tracks while we continue to fire upon them, and while we take shots from the lead belchers, we'll fire right back at them as well. Ogres have arrived in our main line now, and we are looking to be on the verge of being overrun, and this is why I thought that this would be a little bit more fun, as the enemy isn't quite heavily damaged enough from a distance. Not yet broken by our artillery, and we'll be able to at least hopefully achieve something. And here we go, gonna summon a unit of fell bats, explosive bats from one of our batwing bombards. Giant sticks of dynamite just strapped to a bunch of bats. This costs half the ammunition of the artillery piece, but it does work nicely. That said, they are extremely fragile, and will take a couple hits from that unit of lead belchers. Although the rest of them do explode and still manage to knock a few out. I just gotta be a little bit more careful with them, I guess, but it's a new unit and I really do like the concept. It's pretty fun, especially if we spam Batwing Bombards with Queen Bess in a particular army. And we'll be able to summon a bunch of them at the same time and see what they can do. Anyway, looks like the enemy continues to attempt to charge forth, but the balance power has shifted to about 90% in our favor. The Batwing Bombards and Queen Bess alike have obliterated the enemy sort of weaker units, the Noblar piles, and now it's just a matter of knocking out the ogres as well. Slaughtermaster and Firebelly, the mages of the ogres, fighting together against Count Noctilus, who strikes at them from atop his Necrophex Colossus. But of course, they stand no chance here. And by the looks of it, they have recognized that together with the rest of the army, as they will break and give this one up as well. Lovely. A lovely little fight. The enemy did manage to reach our lines, but certainly not breach them, and while we did take a little bit of damage on some of the units, it really wasn't too bad, despite the little bit of a hand that we gave the enemy. I'm just looking at the accuracy of the single bat firing mode. It looks like they were all going for a single lead belcher here, which is kind of interesting. But anyway. Alrighty, there we go. Nice little fight, but even though we were at a disadvantage due to the terrain, a fairly major disadvantage due to the terrain, as it was all hilly and interfering with our gun sights, or our line of fire rather, the enemy army was far too composed of hobgobs and blood vultures. Unlike Scrag's main stack, which was ogre heavy, these guys stood no chance against our artillery, which obviously, well, doesn't care about the hills, as it can simply fire over it. 356 kills on Queen Bess, but she's going to clean house in every single battle that she participates in. Lots of solid kills on the Morngul Haunters as well, but they always do fantastic as well. Anyway, we'll occupy the place, and we should still be able to move with Mr. Noctilus. And by the looks of it, we can go all the way to Leviathan Island. Yeah, I guess we'll go like this, because we gotta loop back around afterwards anyway. Alright, to Leviathan Island you shall go, sir. And I imagine that the defenders are lackluster enough for us to be able to auto-resolve this. Oh, he's going to leave. Okay, well, good luck, Mr. Zarak. Good luck out there. Huh. Auto-resolved. Oh, in this army, that does kind of make sense, because this army doesn't have really any melee other than the depth guard, so it's thinking that it's sending the Altars of the Abyss in by themselves. And fair enough, and ooh, I just realized the Altars of the Abyss will be nice in any of our melee composition armies, several of which are going to be used, but also in a Crabby Boy heavy army. The Rotting Prometheans, Gunnery Mobs, and Rotting Leviathans. Gotta love the Crabby Boy armies. In fact, wait. Notorious Admiral, I think? Yes, physical resistance and weapon strength plus 10. This seems like a very nice lord to command a Crabby army. I just want to double check what else we have here. It's access to shipbuilding, recruitment cost reduction. This is all fine. Although the recruitment cost reduction probably means we can use them as a semi-recruiter lord. Well, we'll see how expensive stuff gets. Anyway, we're gonna have to manually fight this real quick, aren't we? Because, okay, fine. I'm just gonna speed through this real quick. Do you have Frenzy, Noctilus? I was gonna keep that banner of swiftness and eventually give it to you, but now I'm thinking maybe Frenzy? Probably be sending him into melee a little bit more. Well, let's give him Frenzy for now, and then I will think about it. I do like the ability to speed around and reposition yourself, especially on that Necrovex, quite a bit as well. So there's that. Anyway, fight battle, just real quick. We're just going to bombard the place and just send in our elites at max speed. I mean, obviously, this normally wouldn't be worth fighting, but Noctilus' sort of temporary army composition makes it necessary. It wasn't killing the units of the Altars of the Abyss before, which we saw, but that's because when we were using Ares' army to reinforce, it actually has some melee troops in there, so these guys aren't acting as the melee of the army. And not to worry, we'll be changing compositions very, very soon. In fact, with the ship at tier 4, we could temporarily use boarding crew here before transferring them to Aerie. That's another option. Anyway, start deployment. We will deploy right here. Far enough away from everybody. You two, get you guys on the sides like so. Start bombarding. Oh, wait, are you in range? More or less. Move a little bit closer, maybe. Like so. Alright, you two go here. Buff these guys up, and then everybody else can just stay back here. We probably don't need to move you up at all. Crabby boys, or the Altars of the Abyss. And then all of our single entities except these guys. Okay, you know what, you can be a separate group, trying to speed through it and actually going slower because of it. And what are we missing? Necrofex? Yes. Alright, you two. Necrofexes, including Noctis, pretty good at bringing down towers, so let's start a battle like so. And then you guys switch to Demolisher Bats and then attack this fort tower together with Queen Bess. Let's also immediately use Ballistics Calibration and Enchanted Ballistics, get it off on cooldown, and bring down these towers real quick. Oh wow, look at that. One more volley from the Necrofexes will bring down this tower before the Demolition Bats even get there. There we go, down goes Tower 1, and down goes Tower 2. And let's put you two in a group, and let's have you attack the gatehouse, and then let's also speed this up to max while we do. Noctis, you could probably heal everybody up. Like so. And how's that gate looking? Couple more seconds. You guys keep firing, whatever. You know what? One of you switch to single shot, one of you switch to non-single shot. There we go. Start moving. Single entities start moving as well. Where are you? You can more powder Bessie, like so. And then we can also Enchanted Ballistics and speed it back up. Alright, obviously auto-resolve being a little bit silly here, but, well, it is what it is. You guys can fire through the gate, apparently. Do so for at least a few seconds. Let's activate or use our abilities, and get them all on cooldown as well. Like so. Taking a while to bring these ogres down, but that's fine. I just don't want to wander in. Ooh, let's also get another... more powder up and running, and then double up on ballistics calibration and such. A best... target, what do we have here? Oh, man-eaters with ogre pistols, eh? I think we're good. Alright, everybody move on in. Start going after the man-eaters with ogre pistols here. Artillery pieces, I would like you to stop fire now. Just so we don't damage our own units too heavily. Alright, there we go. And it'll be over shortly. Let's also heal up our Necrofex, because he took a few pistol shots to the face. And, ooh, artillery pieces. I got something for you to fire upon. Fire on those goblin trappers. Let's also re-up Bess's ammunition while we're at it. Give her ballistics calibration, and then double it up on that. And is that more ogre pistols? Yes, it is. Yes, it is more ogre pistols. It's always ogre pistols with you. Alright, Morgul Haunters go out there. Although, I guess by getting away from the... okay, well, whatever, it doesn't really matter. Frankly, this is already taking longer than I had originally expected. Not that it's going to make much of a difference in a few seconds. Oh, wow. Something got obliterated there. Heal up the Morgul. Morgul, activate your abilities. And what else is out here? Another unit? Alright, fair enough. Where's Bess? Oh, I guess she was trying to focus the Nobbler trappers. In fact, wait, as soon as they stop... I actually do it now. There we go. And there we go. Who's still here? Is there an invincible unit somewhere? Broken. Oh, there's a... Okay. We need a flyer. We need a flyer to get into combat faster. Wait, maybe they'll rout if we hit them with a spell. Nope. Oh, come on. You need to be in proximity. There we go. I've never known why they did that. Why do you need to be in proximity for the last unit to shatter? I've always found it to be an odd design. I feel like maybe at some point it was being something was being abused, and therefore they did that. But there's got to be a reason, right? Like somebody thought this combated some kind of issue. And because this proximity thing, I believe, doesn't exist on regular map battles, because I've definitely seen reinforcements rout even when they're not even on the field and just shatter instantly when they get on. And then the units very, very far away shatter. In fact, we saw it in the very first episode of the campaign with a Celestial General of Cathay, who we then attempted to chase down, but he was so close to the edge of the map that that didn't really work out. But anyway, yeah, so if anybody has any idea why they did that, I'd be very curious to know. I'll occupy the place. Alright, enemy leadership reduction further. Good, since Noctilus is stacking that in particular. Speaking of Noctilus, what do we have here? Weather deck. Yes, we'll upgrade you immediately because we want that boarding crew. And we're at 8 out of 16, halfway there to the Great Cabin, and access to Depth Guard, Necrofex Colossi, Rotting Leviathans, pretty much our entire roster. And the faster we get access to them, the better. We may even want to sit Noctilus around a little bit once he maxes out to sort of pump out some recruits and get our armies moving in all the directions of the compass. Seems like the thing to do. Anyway, Noctilus, you leveled up just the once. I was hoping you had leveled up twice. Do we want to go through to Taunt? It is a nice debuff. We do also want potentially Evasion. You know what, let's go through max out Invocation of the Head, because we'll be using it a lot regardless. And then we'll hit Evasion. We'll still probably do Tenacity, but only after we've gone through Hornswoggle and yeah, and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, we'll do the other buffs or the other upgrades later. Let's do some building, because it means more cash influx, which means eventually more armies. Hold off the Midnight Gambling Den because it's a little bit expensive, but don't hold off on the Tier 3 Pirates Hamlet, and definitely not on the ports. Always upgrade ports as a priority. In fact, no more ports here, but there are tier upgrades, and that's all of our cash. Diplomacy check real quick. Darkness Daughters still want to be friends. They won't shortly, though. Disciples of the Maw. Sorry, Disciples of the Maw. I would have loved to keep Ogres around to get access to Lead Belchers and Iron Blasters, and Chaos Dwarfs for various reasons, but hopefully we can find others that are not so close to us that we can wipe out instead. That we can befriend rather than wipe out instead. We do also have this Unstoppable Force thing for wiping out Sartosa, and we may want to sail over and take it. I've been kind of toying with the idea of getting a mod to recruit the other lords or confederate the other lords. I'm still kind of on the fence about it. I do kind of like the idea of the pirates wiping each other out as well. And not necessarily having every legendary lord every time. We could also wipe out one and keep the other. There is potential for that, because we wouldn't get access to Aranessa's unique stuff. And that's the main reason of playing her. Also, I did play her recently. But anyway, for now, skip and turn. Alright, there we go. Whispers of the Eyeless. Oh man, the -20 research rate, that does really hurt us, and same with the miscast base chance, but what are you gonna do? The eventual rewards from profit are pretty solid, so fine. We'll take the horrific debuffs for now. But I will be salty about it. This puts Admiral's Astrolabes back up to 9 and Gunnery Crews back up to 2, but we know that it'll go back down to 1 afterwards, so just keep building. You, sir, I was hoping you could reach Palace of Joyous Oblivion. Doesn't sound very ogreish. I assume that a Slaneshi faction started there. I would also like to see... the income collection isn't horrible here. What about this? Wait, is this the same territory? It is not. This place is also collecting income, but the public order is okay. It's not horrible. I guess the vampiric corruption of being in a territory with other vampires is helping us. Alright, fair enough. Keep collecting the money because we do kind of need it. You, though, I guess we'll go for Scurvy Dog Pits to start because it gives us control, and then we'll move on to the other, the plunder pile after. Noctilus, you should be able to quickly auto-resolve Palace of Joyous Oblivion. There's nothing there. I'm hoping that the game will actually let us auto-resolve. We can maybe move you to reinforce as well. And Leech. Reinforce and Leech. March stance or full speed stance, and then go right here via the sea, and then I'm hoping that if you get closer you can actually land here instead of having to go around. It is by a port. No, it's another one of those. It's a shame. Unless... Ah, now we could land there. Good. Alright, that should make it easier to auto-resolve. It hurt the Necrofex. You know what? I'm going to take that Banner of Swiftness off the Necrofex. I feel like maybe it's interfering, but we can see that, see, the melee unit. Well, actually, this time the Altars of the Abyss didn't get hurt, but the Depth Guard and the Necrofex did. Auto-resolve is so weird, man. Occupy. Alrighty, and Sea Dragon Buckler, melee defense and missile resistance. We'll take it. Sam Thorpe has a fell bet. Still kind of on the fence about that, at least in this army. So stay on the Rotting Promethean for now, though there will be definitely some gunnery wights with fell Batmans. You can reach another point as well, sir. Get evasion. And we'll deal with the rest of you guys shortly. In fact, probably before we attack the next thing, because your points might allow us to auto-resolve stronger. Money is rising, and we'll continue to do so. Swag Sacks, Meat Market, and I believe Scurvy Dog Pits, like so. And I guess we can upgrade these now. 1600. Right, it's horrifically expensive. Let's start with Crumbling Castle here, and we can't afford the other thing either. And oh, you're actually losing control. That's because of the conquest, though, so it should be fine. We got how many more turns to declare war? I also want to take a look at those treasure maps just in case. 3 more turns. Treasure maps. What are we looking at here? Okay, so this one's really close by, which we can send somebody over there shortly. Far, but close to Albion. This one's close. We kept it for a reason. This one's kind of near, and this one is not reachable. So this one can go. But the rest we can keep. It's a shame that it was a great horde, but it is what it is. Yeah. Alrighty, and just to double check heroes for a second. Now, we can't afford any. I do have another sawed-off barrel. I guess we could get another one of these up and running as well. They are fairly cheap. And just so that we have 2 of the sawed-off barrel variants, though I guess the question will be whether we need more than one of these guys in Noctilus's army. But Noctilus is still going to use some range stuff, and the accuracy bonus to the Necrofex Colossi at range via ballistics calibration might be worth our time. Whereas in some other army, we might want to use... Oh, I know. Okay, yeah, never mind. Let's get the sawed-off guy as well. With that ballistics calibration, I got an idea. We need gunnery wights everywhere. Pretty much every army. I'd like 2 of them in every single army. And there will be a couple of these guys needed in the boarding crew army. Yeah. Let's do it. I want to see how much damage they can do like this. It's probably not a lot, but nonetheless. Because they do get that explosive shot blunderbuss out of... Well, blunderbuss. Right here, which increases their missile strength quite a bit. Increased number of projectiles, not explosive shot. Although if they had explosive damage, that might help as well. But anyway, we'll do that. Dick Sawkins, you're on the field now, and it looks like Scraggy is just about getting ready to be wiped out. Skip, and then the turn. Alright, hey, another little army to fight. Well, that I'm actually quite happy about. Blue Vipers, eh? I think we can reach them and still be able to reach Zrak and Zgak here, because, well, frankly, they will be auto-resolvable anyway. I do wonder if Mr. Morglor Butlika will run. And just in case he does, and oh, you're out of range here because you landed, so you won't be able to... Well, at least you can leech if we attack these guys. So leech you shall. And Dixawkins, I guess you can go into that army rather than Noctilus's, at least for now. Although that will eventually change. Just want to make sure that we got you on field. All right, now we got 2 more turns to declare war on Aranessa, right? I still want to make use of the Unstoppable Force plus 50 campaign movement range, so we will declare war on them just next turn. I also don't want to waste the extra bonus movement range. Then we will declare war on these guys who are at war with nobody, just because they're there and just because it'll be fun to fight them. Free XP, free money, etc, etc, etc. Let's also level up before we... you only got 1 point, never mind. 1 point, probably not a big enough deal. Now let's get more Glore. And he's not gonna run. Beautiful. Pyrrhic victory. We got... Okay, watch out. We gotta watch out for the Savage Orc error, boys. Ooh, he's got a Savage Giant as well. I'm excited to test out the single bat launches to see if they are going to damage that thing or not. And then we'll at least know for sure. Let's get the Banner of Swiftness off of you. I do like Frenzy on Noctilus. It is a significant amount of extra melee attack, but I think I'd rather be able to reposition him. And we'll put the Frenzy on... Well, these guys don't need it. Let's just put it on the Nyklaus Colossus. Wait, do you guys have Frenzy? You do not. Let's put it on one of the Mourngulls, I guess. Not that they need the immunity to psychology or anything, but yeah, that's fine. Anyway, this should be a fun little fight. Let's do it. Alright, here we go. I certainly wasn't expecting the big old pile of Savage Orcs to appear, but I'm pleasantly surprised by the fact that they did. And definitely gonna enjoy fighting them here. Usually they can be, let's say, somewhat annoying in the sense of that if they appear randomly in the midst of your territory where you have no army running around, then, well, they can be quite the issue. But here, that's not the case, and we just get a free fight to fight. Anyway, looks like the enemy giant first got hit by a couple of these single-shot bats, but he's getting up. It means he's invincible, and all 8 of them hit him and do no damage whatsoever. I perhaps made something of a mistake by having the Necrofex Colossi fire at him, because it's going to be hard to test these single shots of these things when we do. That's alright though, we got multi-shot back up and running. We're going to send it flying towards these Savage Orcs, who are going to try to move through the choke point. We're not going to block off the choke point, though we very well could by annoying the enemy or slowing them down with the Mourngull Haunters, especially with the chilling aura that they have. I will instead bombard the enemy with physical and magical artillery alike, and we have set up on this hill so our handgunners are going to get to work as the enemy move towards us. Of course, all that massive physical resistance over the Savage Orcs means that they're going to take a fair few shots like this, but that's alright. And now we're fighting these sort of 2 distinct blobs of Savage Orcs in 2 different ways. The sort of regular guns, the handguns, the zombie-powered gunnery mobs, and the Necrofex Colossi are firing away at this blob while they move forward, whereas this blob is being kept back pretty much entirely by our Batwing Bombards and by Queen Bess. I imagine... actually, I'm curious as to... it looks like the one on the left is the one that's taking more damage faster, which is kind of interesting, but the handguns do hit really, really hard. And we gotta keep in mind that these aren't even buffed. Now, the thing about the Vampire Coast is while their units are very, very high damaging, generally speaking, the piles of handguns, they're also ultra fragile, so the second that the enemy closes the distance with handguns, they get obliterated, just like the deck gunners. But with a lot of buffs especially, they can do insane amounts of damage very quickly. And that's just the basic handgunner unit, without talking about their other stuff. Anyway, here we go, more bats dropping down upon the enemy, and we're going to even move around our other handgun units to fire at the second horde, who, if not destroyed by Queen Bess and by the Batwing Bombards, have been kept back, which is kind of interesting. They were essentially forced to blob around and move around slowly. That Necrofex Colossus running forward was kind of amusing. And that's Noctilus on his own Necrofex Colossus. Now you see the texture on this Necrofex isn't broken here. Yeah, it's definitely the dark maps that are screwing it over. Interesting. Well, just gotta remember to get the lighter maps going. I wish there was a mod that sort of, I don't know, made the dark maps less of an issue to deal with. Although for certain factions, the dark maps are really cool. like the vampire counts with all the glowing stuff that they have. Anyway, it looks like these Savage Orcs are just about done for. Noctilus and one of his pet Morngul Haunters moves out right ahead of everybody, and even with the bats and dropping all around him, he doesn't care. The enemy army is just about done. A couple units will rally, though the Savage Orc Great Shaman is still there. Looks like a unit of Savage Orc Boar Boys attempted to charge the handgunners, but too little or no effect. I'm really enjoying the Batwing Bombards, I gotta say. Very funny, lovely concept. Essentially combining, I don't know, Deathshriekers and Doom Divers with a little bit of a Vampire Coast, or Vampire generally flavor. Well, I'd say more Vampire Coast flavor because of the explosives. Alright, and there we go with that. The enemy Lord will break, having lost about half of his HP to Noctilus and melee, which is decent. I mean, I guess the Savage Orc Shaman has no melee attack. Considering that the melee defense, rather, the melee attack of Noctilus is fairly low until we get him Swashbuckler and whatever other points. Anyway, a lovely little random free fight. Alright, very nice. A really fun fight, and the bonus loot that we're getting out of the Black Pearl False Sigh is paying off, as we are generating a fair bit of treasury post fights, which makes me think that we're not ready for the Talisman of Preservation as yet. As usual, Bessie did well, and the Batwing Bombards did pretty okay, 13k, nothing crazy admittedly. The zombie-powered gunnery mobs with handguns tend to do more damage than the Batwing Bombards do, but that's alright, that's appropriate. I'm glad that these things aren't overpowered, as that's what one of my requirements generally when going for a unit mod, as I think it takes a lot of fun out of the equation if units are way too strong. Anyway, ransom captives. The army will survive and back away fairly far by the looks of it. Might not be able to reach these guys in the same turn if we go after them. Yeah, this is probably going to be the edge of our range, but it is what it is. I assume, wait, how far can you move? Not very far either. Well, it's not like these guys have anywhere to go anyway, and I don't think that they can reclaim the Palace of Joyous Oblivion. Although maybe. Well, we'll see. Ooh, hello, Hunter's Talon. Missile Strength and Free Amber Spear. Alright, I'll take it. Go after Uzgach. And resolve. And then we'll be just out of range, but it's alright. Oh, wow. I didn't think that that would happen. Wow. Okay, that was my bad. I really didn't think that that would happen. We're gonna have to re-raise some Altars of the Abyss. I'm happy that they weren't too leveled, but that nearly destroyed our Necrofex and our Depth Guard. Ugh. Okay, yeah, we're reforming the army ASAP, because the auto-resolve is just screwing it over every time. My bad, my bad. Just to ransom the captives, we'll need to get some of the cash back. It's not like this will heal the Necrofex anyway. Damn. That's... Ooh, wait, we can just reach this guy by the looks of it. Hey, a potion of healing. Well, that's something that we can't use on Noctilus, but that's a lot of lords that can use it. Alright, we know that there's a battle marker here at Crumbling Castle, so we can raise one Altar of the Abyss or just build them. Damn you, game. Oh, slash auto-resolve. That's what you get for getting complacent. Indeed it is. One more turn on that. Alright. Go here, and looks like you can't reach them anyway. Go right there. Wait. Now we're in enemy territory, so it costs too much, doesn't it? And that's increased here as well. Okay, so yeah, just do this. Let's see if the game forces us to manually fight this. I will... okay, nobody will die. Game. And let's see, it did damage our Necrofex, but it is what it is. We could deal with it. Let's at least heal up the Depth Guard like so. And we can at least reach this place and then occupy it, destroying Scrag and allowing us to heal up and potentially recruit. Matland's Locker is now ours. We will immediately go for the share of the spoils to get the control up and running. And we'll need to do the same thing here, but obviously not yet. You can get a little bit closer. Also have to send Noctilus to grab whatever we have at the Remnants of Battle before looping around towards these guys. Now, yes, okay, we can get the corpse gas spewers as well as the, yep, 2.86, a big difference. What did I do? Okay, misclicked that. And damn, the ghost helmsmen are expensive. Not to worry though, we're getting there. Maybe one altar will be sufficient. Ooh, we can get the rotting Promethean gunnery mobs as well, though they are also expensive. And the Wraithstorm Carronades are not that expensive, admittedly. You know what? Build a couple of Wraithstorm Carronades. I want to try them out ASAP. We'll hold with what we have for now. It's not like we need any more than that to defeat all of this. I just want to make sure that we get our economy flowing. Dead Parts Hamlet for you, Volcano Belt. Let's go for the Midnight Gambling Den and Galleon's Graveyard, which surprisingly doesn't have any kind of landmark there, but oh well. Haunted Hovels. And what did I miss here? Oh, another one of these Midnight Gambling Dens. Alright, and we have a little bit of money remaining, which is good. We'll need it. We absolutely will. And we're only a few more turns away until the Great Cabin and the Tier 5. Which will hopefully be reduced in terms of its cost, because technically everything here is reduced, but that doesn't seem to be. And I guess we'll need to keep the Siren while we grow this to some degree. Hopefully we can pick up another one. Ranked up on C. Okay, we can probably achieve that. I'd like to think we can achieve that anyway. Anyway, that's an end turn to me. I'm somewhat salty about those altars, but it is what it is. I'm sure of it. If we get the right army compositions, that the auto-resolve won't affect them nearly as much. Let's also take a look at our items. We have gotten a few over the course of the last few turns. I don't care about the Crown of Command. The Sea Dragon's Buckler. Melee defense and missile resistance. You know, here's what I'm gonna do. Well, no, you know what? Keep it on Noctilus for now. You guys have the Talayan Pavis and Armor of Silvered Steel. Wait, didn't we have two of these? A moment. Where are we here? No, just the one. Alright. We don't have enough stuff to, you know, send them everywhere. What I would like to do, however, is this. Vampire Fleet Captains. We do have another unswerving freebooter here. Campaign line of sight, hero action, success chance, first mate reinforcement range, and vicious buccaneer, hero self-defense chance. And we have no space for any of the others, which is fine. Alright, so we're gonna get you. Let's say staunch corsair for the hero success chance. On field, and expensive though you may be, you are gonna go out here and dig up the treasure, and then probably get a pirate cove up and running somewhere here. Probably not so close to us. Somewhere where we know we're probably not going to say. I think what we'll do is obviously pirate cove up a big portion of the coastline without going too deep into admin, but there are these sorts of islands like this, Vampire Coast Islands, in various places. There's one here, there's one here, Bone Island. We want to maybe occupy those. Sartosa Islands, somebody suggested Albion as well in the comments below, and that may be a decent option as well. At the very least, we can send an army there. See how the Albion Bowl is going. I'm actually interested to some degree to as to how it's changed, because Grimgor used to start there. When I played Grimgor, he started in the Albion Bowl, and it was really fun early game because there was a ton of enemy lords, legendary lords there. But now he's been moved to out here somewhere in the Darklands as well, which does feel appropriate because he now faces off against the Chaos Dwarfs. But I'm interested to see how the dynamic of the Albion Bowl has changed. Anyway, in turn. Alright, recruitment reduction for Noctilus, so that's nice. Henrietta, you got treasure to find, so go out there, and if you can spot a few islands, that would work out nicely as well. Objectives, we got one more turn for this, so we're gonna have to declare war on Aranessa. We can even peace out with her, possibly. I'll think about it. But for now, I do want the quest. So declare war. And we'll see if she bothers to sail over here. But 10 turns and plus 50% movement range is very, very worth it. Oh, you know what? I should have done that before sending you out, because I assume that affects... This is armies. I wonder if it just affects solo characters like that, but we'll see. Anyway, Noctilus, you are going to set sail. You're going to grab the Remnants of Battle, which I'm... Why is it behaving weirdly like that? Okay, well, just leave the place. And then go over... What the heck? Huh? Why is he behaving oddly? We could go through it. Okay, try like this. I don't know what's going on. Something weird about the map there. And alright, he'll pick it up and he'll go for, I'm gonna say, Sunken Chest. Trunk of Maps, Warrior Band. The Warrior Band is at least useful. And then go back around this way. We are heading towards, we're heading towards this end, the landmark therein. Recruitment rank, recruitment cost, and missile strength for artillery from the wreck of the Heldenhammer. Alright, fair enough. As well as a giant pile of Zinchen units, so that should be pretty interesting. Especially with the physical resistance that they've got. Anyway, you are going to go into flagship expansion. You are going to stick around. And out of curiosity... So... Wait, not global. Wait, are you not able to recruit from Count Noctilus's army when he's in Dread... Or is that... I don't think it's global. I guess Noctilus has to recruit for you. Bit of a shame. I wanted to recruit the boarding crew here without having Noctilus do it, because it does take 2 turns, but that's fine. We can sit in the crumbling castle for a few turns. I want this army ready to go and to start gathering maybe some coastline, but also gathering some islands at sea. Certainly something to do. Also, we got 2 more turns, eh? Gotta get that great cabin. Very much on the way. But we don't have any reductions to the upkeep costs of the depth guard, even though we have buffs for them. But we will obviously still use them, because the buffs are not inconsiderable. Although I think we'll forego the Deathshriek Terrorgeists and the deck droppers in this army, because being between the depth guard and the Necrophexes, it's probably not necessary. Anyway, let's see what we got here. A Volcano Belt. Ooh, tier 4. You grew better and faster than I was expecting, but we will see about that. I want to make sure that we get the money stuff up and running first. Like so. And definitely the port, because every port built and upgraded increases the money generation from all other ports, and therefore definitely something we want to prioritize. We could upgrade one of these to the next level, or we could do the tier 4, so I guess we'll do that first, and then the other stuff after. And you're still gaining control. How's our infamy looking? Alright, we do have enough to get one of those new admirals up and running. Once we get them up and running, I mean. Also, just before we do, I just want to see if there's anything here that we'll want to prioritize shortly. Yes to the spell of the Necromancer's Apprentice, but... nothing crazy, at least not yet. A lot of that stuff will be quite useful to us, but just not immediately. Okay, we obviously don't need to upgrade that, and nothing else here, which means another end turn. Skip, 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 go. Curse of the Bountiful Treasure. We can get this up and running, but it's not worth it yet because it's a 30-turn cooldown, and there's other stuff that we want to make use of. You, Noctilus. All right, go all the way to the edge of as far as you can move, all the way over here, and we'll upgrade your cabin for you. And of course, Aerie will follow. You are going for treasure. Also, where does this? This goes down here, eh? Kingdom of the Beasts. Okay, that's interesting. Interesting. I mean, we knew that one. We shall see whether it gives us anything. And this one goes to the other side of the Galleon's graveyard. Alright, where are the treasures? So this one is the closest one, and it is right here by the looks of it. Alright. I'll love to get a nice influx of cash. Noctilus, it's his time to waste 5,000 gold to build your great cabin. Capacity increase as well. Oh, we already had it. Well, whatever. Nonetheless, it still has to be built. That hasn't changed. And then, of course, you are gonna follow. We can sit in Crumbling Castle for a bit and probably recruit some stuff before heading down to Sculler's Gate. Or, if we avoided, we could just attack this, destroy these guys, and then come down here. And oh, we even have a battle marker outside here, which is nice as well. Also, are any of these actual islands? No, unfortunately not. Oh, it's so confusing trying to figure out which ones are islands and which ones aren't. Yeah, there's one. Another Remnants of Battle, though, so no battle. Ah, there's another one right here. God, I never would have spotted this one. It looks exactly like the others. Probably there's more in here that I haven't seen. Just looking for those sort of blue circles to pop up. All right, I think that's it. But I'll try to keep an eye out. Anyway, a little bit of money remaining, meaning we want to probably upgrade another one of the ports or one of these. Let's do the dyes here, try to get that up and running ASAP because it'll reduce the construction cost in the territory, generally speaking. Any port upgrades? I think we had one, but then ran out of the money to do so. So, meat market, please. Skip, ban and the turn. Let's pick up that treasure and keep on going. Do we need the bonus control right now? Well, you know what? We're gonna recruit a bunch of stuff, so I think we'll land and then we'll make use of it to deal with this. I don't think that these guys will declare war on us because they'd be too afraid to, so we'll have time to recruit stuff before sending both armies in different directions. End turn. Oh, we also have to wipe these guys out, but we'll get to them. We'll get to them. Hey, mission successful. It does look like that does count the Great Cabins. Beautiful. And more stuff. First of all, though, we've got to get a... Oh, I guess it'll have to be next turn. Because it was somewhere right here, and this may not be close enough. Oh, we have a landmark here. Hello. You might then have to be conquered. I was expecting to set up a coast thing here. Oh, well. A cove, rather, not a cove. Well, I mean, it is on the cove. You know what I mean. And, oh, Targog. You're going after these guys again, eh? Bad idea. Don't you see the pirate ships off on the horizon? Anyway, we can actually land on Sculler's Gate immediately and then obliterate it while that guy's gone. And I guess that's what we should do. Fair enough. You know what? Just for this battle, I know it's expensive, it's stupidly expensive, but let us ooh, I also want to try those Wraithstorm Cairns. I didn't even check what they exactly do. Let's move you out. Let's hope that this doesn't cripple our movement range, because it very well might. Gallows Giant. I just want it on field. And no, we're still okay. Beautiful, beautiful. Let's level up and then let's take a look at a few things and then let's fight again. And we will go for... Ooh, Smoke and Mirrors passive. It's not bad. He is casting. Fine. And doubling up on passives is always fantastic. Let's level you guys up. You should have 2 points now. Let's max out Scupperum to get for... Well, I mean, we are still using artillery, so let's get Scupperum, and I'm gonna say ammo sacks because everybody gets 8% ammunition, not just the artillery. Yes, and then you should have the same thing-ish. Scupperum, and then Lucky Spyglass for more range, and then more into Scupperum as well. And what do we have here? Did I get Scavenge on either of you? No, I just decided to go for the stuff that makes you tankier, which... in my defense, is a good idea. Let's max out Scavenge now. 2 points in you and 2 points on you. And then Monkey Jacket, Hunter of the Dark, Evanesce, and Materialize. We'll leave Insatiable Hunger till last. And oh, actually, I thought I got two points. And yes, I'm repeating this because we're just leveling these guys in here. There's no guarantee that they'll be kept around in this army. Although there's a decent likelihood we'll keep at least one. Maybe two, who knows. I really like their chilling aura. It's really, really nice. Minus 40% speed reduction, especially in combination with the depth guard chasing you down. You ain't getting away. Hunter of the Dark, Materialize, and then Insatiable Hunger. Lovely. Alright, and then you, Beatrice Holloway. Now, weapon strength for large units, this does include Necrofex Colossi, so we could do that. Probably doesn't apply to Noctilus himself, but that's not a huge deal right now. Renowned, ooh, Retinue Valet. You know what? I'm actually going to go for Retinue Valet first before anything else, because I just feel like it's really valuable. More magical items to be found is always a good thing. You guys will level once I figure out what exactly to do with your army. Next, the Wraith Storm Carronades do what? Speed reduction, missile block chance, and armor reduction. Ooh, they're like a range support thing. I really like that. Well, we can put them in our range-heavy armies and increase those range units' effectiveness. All right, good to see. And magic-infused ammunition. Okay, some extra damage out of that. All right, fair enough. You guys, hello. They hold it at tier 5, eh? Meaning, oh, we'll need to attack this with both armies. Look at that. Flamers, Soul Grinder. The Soul Grinders of Tzeentch are insane in SFO. Exalted Flamers, tons of pink horrors, and then 2 additional stacks. That's gonna take some doing. Alright, we'll actually need to prepare for it. I love to see it. Join your war against the Sharktooth. Can't do it, eh? Alright, fine. Fair enough. Noctilus, go here. And attack this. Declare war. No one will join. I guess this is a faction that's like Clan Carrion that's designed to hold the sea maw, so it doesn't make sense. You're not my real maw. Anyway, what was I saying? I don't know. We'll attack you in a second. You can land as well. Go here. Ooh, actually, can you land? I hope you can, because if you can't, you're gonna get attacked by this army, and there's nothing you'll be able to do to escape. Maybe I should have moved you in march stance. Guess we're about to find out. Okay, now you can land. You're fine. Not that we need their help. It's just that. Ow! You little coward! Oh, AI! I hate when it runs like this. Why? Why are you depriving us of battles? Alright, well, I guess we'll have to fight their armies, so this one will auto-resolve, and we'll just pray that it doesn't do too much dip. Ow. Ow. Necrofex Colossi are getting wrecked, but that's okay. They won't be getting wrecked for too much longer. We'll occupy this place, and then we'll take the time to build up depth guard and get them on field ASAP. There we go. And what does this give us access to? Rotting Leviathans, yes. I don't think we want to use the 2.5k gold on that yet, but that will change rather shortly. You can also go into a camp stance, and you're fine as you are. Was that this turn, or was that... Okay, that was this turn. Alright, let's build up some stuff to get more money. And it's gonna have to be ports as priorities, so... Port 1, Port 2, I think we won't be able to afford another, but we can afford one of these, so let's do that. Alright, and that's all the cash we got. Skip, I can't believe Drunk Bad ran. You're Drunk Bad. End turn. Alright, main deck construction complete, which means a depth guard and now available. Inexpensive though they may be, we'll have to get at least a few. First things first though, our first treasure, and it's right here. Come to a coast ravaged by Talon and Claw, but do not miss the point, for it traces the way to a monolithic secret. That tells me nothing. I'm gonna just hope that it's like right there. Dig. There we go. A great hoard of treasure. It's 10k, I believe. 10k and an executioner's axe and a little bit of infamy. Lovely. And I guess while you're here, you can head up the coastline. I am kind of interested in seeing if there are any more additional landmarks for us in particular here, but otherwise to send you up to Albion or up near there. A, to check out what's going on over there right now, and B, to go after this treasure right here. Is this a great hoard or a miserly hoard? Can we even tell? This is the Riddle of Urson, so I don't know. Whatever. Maybe I shouldn't even keep miserly hordes and only keep great hordes, but anyway. Harry Anstead, or Ari Anstead, I guess go out to sea and then try to land again. This guy's just gonna leave again, that's the... Ah, yeah, it's gonna be annoying about this, isn't it? Alright, fine, and no choice in the matter. Alright, let's see if Ari can land and if we can follow with Noctilus. I don't think so, but who knows. Give it a try. Noctilus obviously has much more movement range, so... Alright, Airy, can you do it? Actually a little bit worried that if you land, there won't be space for Noctilus to land. Maybe he can land from this side, though. Let's risk it.
Yes.
Okay, you can land, and you can go there. Close to feet, but we can make it closer. Noctilus, I would like you to land right there. Try not to move a lot. Then, if area attacks, this guy will not leave. Why didn't you leave this time? Well, you left that time. Alright, we'll fight it. Fun. Well, I'm fine with that. I expected him to... He left with, from this capital, though. But why, AI? But why? Don't collect the income for a little bit to fix the public order, even though it's... Yeah. Actually, speaking of public order, this place is fine, and that was the new territory, and then this place has to be dealt with, so we'll deal with it. Scurvy dog pits and slave pits while we're at it. Let's do the fight, and then we'll level up after fighting. And then we'll start recruiting, depth guard, boarding crew, etc., for the assault on the Seamaw. I mean, I guess we can send the other army to claim this territory once it's ready to go, but we'll probably use both for the assault on the Seamaw. Anyway, that's all in the very, very near future. For now, Airy, go. Ahoy, that was it? I mean, appropriate for the Vampire Coast, but certainly not much of a speech compared to certain characters and certain lords. Yeah, some are really, really talkative, although I guess it's more of a question between legendary lords and just sort of random generics. Anyway, here we go. A lovely lighting for the upcoming battle against the Sharktooth, who I'm sure will suffer the same fate as Scrag the Slaughterer, and his own ilk did. Pretty decently large pile of enemies though, and we can try out a few nice things. Our new Wraithstorm Carronades, as well as our Giant of Bogenhofen. The Regiment of Renown, the Torch of Bogenhofen. No, that's its ability. Okay, I'm blank, and I just said it like 2 minutes ago. Gallows Giant, there it is. Alright, anyway, just waiting for these guys to arrive on field and to try out all the new goodies. Plus, we've got a pretty cool thing here. We have water, which we haven't had a lot, despite the fact that we get advantages from it. Which means we can set up right here and put a few of our units into the water itself. If only something hadn't happened to those Abyss Altars, but at least we have one, and the Abyss Altars, as we know, heal or provide heals when they are in water. So we'll try to put them in there and get that going. Okay, let's see. Not this Blessing of the Depths. Affects allies and units enabled if a unit is in water. Huh. Actually, that's a question. I assume that it's the Altar of the Abyss that needs to be in water and not the surrounding units. So if we put it here and then all the units around it, will they get healed or do they have to be in water too? That's a question. Let me just see here. Yeah, so I don't see the Blessing of the Abyss. Well, I guess we'll find out shortly. Anyway, there we go. Necrofex and the Gallows Giant as well. I love the frickin' thing. All the scorched sort of corpses all over. This definitely looks like a Souls sort of type creature slash boss, doesn't it? I mean, the Necrofex Colossi, I mean, kind of just generally do, but anyway. I love the flamethrower variant, and it's just too bad that we can't build more. And yes, the Gunfire of the Abyss, or of Abyss, does have various Necrofex variants, but once again, I did check out the mod, and the units are just a little bit too overpowered to use, in my opinion. No need to make the campaign hilariously easy by using overpowered units, in my opinion. At least for this. Anyway, here we go. We have arrived and set up just outside of the water here. I want to see how these Wraithstorm Carronades function, and do look pretty neat. I like the little balefire things glowing on them. And they have a living necromancer crew. These just look like necromancers. Kind of neat. It is an undead unit though. Yes, alrighty. And it's not like the whatchamacallits. Ooh, look at those shots. Not like the Sartosa carronades. Let me just see here. And what are these guys firing at? I like the effect of this shot. I like it quite a lot. And it's okay, that one went wide, but ooh, I like where it lands as well. Kind of reminds me of the skull, the Screaming Skull catapults. And do they have little secondary explosions as well, or was that from different shots? I'm not entirely sure. But it looked pretty cool is what I'm getting at. It didn't confer its debuff to this enemy, though, which is interesting. I wonder if it's the main projectile that has to hit them. Let's see another volley from these things, shall we? It's the debuff that we want these things for. And there it is, Wraithstorm. So for 30 seconds, they will be taking a very, very tiny amount of damage. Basically no damage, but speed reduction, missile block chance, and armor, it's pretty significant and will combine nicely with our various units. Alright, well, they can fire away at those units, and Queen Bess can do the same on the other side of the map as well. Of course, the Batwing Bombards and Queen Bess alike will be trying to focus down the blobs of Noblars over the Ogres, though it does look like some Ogres will charge forth, and we can see how much damage we can do to them with our magical cannons. Out here, Noctilus is, whoa, that was dangerous, leading the other Necrofex Colossi in, get a blast of flame going from the Gallows Giant, but then we're going to back it off rather than get surrounded. Not so much because we're afraid a single unit of Ogres is a threat to a Necrofex, at least this type of Ogres, maybe a unit of Iron Guts, but rather because these guys are, oh man, they're having a bad time is what these guys are. Well, I didn't want our own units to be hitting the Necrofex Colossus by accident, because we got all of this range fire firing away, as it tends to do. Anyway, unit of Ogre Bulls with dual weapons tries to move forward, stopped in their tracks by the, well, stopping power of the handgunners, and the bats dropping all around as well. And beautiful. And gonna get a Wraithstorm coming down in the big blob of Nobblers from Mr. Noctilus, as the enemy continues to move forward and attempts to cross the river, but they haven't even reached our line, and there hasn't been even a need to move our Altar of the Abyss in. Over on the flanks, where the enemy is most likely to loop around us, is where we send our chilling aura providing Mourngul Haunters, who once again are fantastic. They're great at killing single entities, they're great at dueling, they're great at killing blobs of enemies. You gotta love Mourngul Haunters. Alright, and the enemy's still having a very, very difficult time reaching us. I see a few bombs coming in. Ooh, Leadbelcher's firing away at our Necrofexes, but they are absolutely holding ground. A bit of a preview for when Noctilus has several of these units to his name. Which he absolutely will, and will probably, frankly, get a few of them on field shortly. I'm not going to go too overboard, maybe like 4 of them in his army, plus Depth Guard. Although, if we use them instead of artillery, without relying on artillery, we could probably keep it pretty interesting, because at range they're going to be a lot weaker than standard artillery fire is. So that would potentially be an excuse to use more of them in the army. Certainly something to think about. Anyway, Necrofexes and Noctilus, of course, leading them all wade in once again. Get that flamethrower going as well. There we go. Alright, and this thing definitely deserves an army of its own, and by the looks of it, the very nasty line that we set up here was very effective. Enemy basically unable to cross the river, as they were of course also slowed down as they attempted to cross it, and we had all the advantages here. I love it. A really fun fight. You gotta love watching the Vampire Coast fight. They're very entertaining, as the gun lines generally tend to be. I'm actually surprised that area isn't at 10 loyalty. Not that it matters over much. Anyway, a nice little fight. I really enjoyed seeing those Wraithstorm Carronades. They're not too crazy damage-wise, but they are Well, actually, 17k on you is pretty solid. They did provide plenty of and debuffs, which is appropriate, even if they were outdone by handguns. But once again, that's pretty much as expected. Love it. I do like a balanced unit. Nice work from the Gallows Giant, racking up 222 kills and 22.7 thousand damage as well, nearing the effectiveness of Queen Bess, which, well, I mean, the enemy army was about half of made up of ogres. I mean, it's still very, very effective and still the most effective unit in our army, admittedly. And 14.7k on Noctilus, so the Gallows Giant outdid both Noctilus and the other thing, but that makes sense. And the Gallows Giant will have its own, essentially, fire army and not be in this one. And it will occupy the place. And I do wonder... Okay, you're not keeping the Scroll of Power in effect. Is that the only scroll? No. Okay, we have double Scrolls of Power, which means we have no Scrolls of Power. Another Dragonfire handgun. That works. That works for our fire purposes. Our eventual fire purposes. Long shot cap I also kind of don't care for, so we'll combine that with the Dragon Helm and to hopefully something better. Sword of Strife is okay for the melee units. Crown of Command, not so useful. The other Trickster Shard, very useful. But we'll need to give that to one of the heroes of Noctilus that will be near him, because he can't hold it due to the Captain Roth's moon dial. So we'll see. Anyway, here... Is there anything that reduces our recruitment costs here? For zombie units. Huh. Well, I guess we'll find out. We'll switch to that, and... Well... I wonder what this guy will do. Yeah, Noctilus stay here, I guess. And we'll see. I'm wondering whether the deck crew, or the boarding crew rather, will count as zombie units per se, but we'll see in a bit. Anyway, let's transfer some units over to the other army so that we have space for recruitment. And let's see what the costs are here. So, we get 2 turns to get a few depth guard up and running. I don't want to go too crazy on them because our money is decent, but it's not really up and running to the degree that we want. We'll see about the boarding crew afterwards. We do need to get those Altars of the Abyss up and running again. You know, let's start with those because they're cheap. And... we'll want more Wraithstorm Carronades. We'll use them to support the ranged armies, but the boarding crew army doesn't necessarily need them, although we'll probably give them some artillery. I'll think about which. For now, let's do 2 Altars of the Abyss, 1 Twin Axe Depth Guard, and then 2... My lord, they're expensive. 5,000 gold. Just do it, just do it. I want them on field. I waited so long in the Manfred campaign, even though this is not advantageous to us in the sense that we don't need to do this right now. I want to do this right now. Then we shall see what else we can build. More ports, ideally. 1 port here. Upgrade you. And let's see, we have a 1.6k, or 1.2k, the Scurvy Dog pits here, which we're building everywhere. And then, well, I guess we should upgrade these. 1.2k, 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 and then you two will be both the Scurvy Dog Pits, or one of them will be the Scurvy Dog Pits, so the other one we can't afford as yet. Alrighty. I'm gonna be a few turns of recruiting stuff and dropping our income, but it is what it is, and it must be as it must be. Just gotta keep an eye out for Sartosa attacking us, because we did go for that unstoppable force, unless they're willing to pay to peace out right now. Disciples of the Maw? Huh. They have a little army running around somewhere. How much money are you giving us for? 5k. They might return to our territory and raid us, but they also might not. They might die of attrition somewhere. Could they have built a camp somewhere? Wait, let me just... I bet I know where they are. They probably have a camp. No, we can see all of this. I don't see no camp. I don't know what's going on, but if they went out very far away from us, I'm willing to take the 5k for now. Why not? And we can build more buildings out of it. And then if we find... watch them confederate these guys, but... oh, actually, that's a lot of... this is actually a solid stack with the Pigback Riders and Noblard Trappers. They are deceptively good units. Well, the Pigback Riders in particular are very good, but the Noblard Trappers as well. I used a similar stack in my own Man-Eaters campaign, and it was probably my favorite stack of the Ogres campaign, so that tells you something. Building upgrade available. What building upgrade? Oh, you. We're not going to use 2.5k on the Rotting Leviathans yet. They've got their own army coming, but Can't afford it as yet. We gotta get Noctilus's and this guy's armies up and running first, and then prioritize the others. We'll wait for the zombie recruitment. You know what, maybe build one more of these. Let's do that. We'll wait for the zombie recruitment. I'm going to double check, though, what the cost was. 1.2k on the boarding crew. Let's see if that does it for us. Skip, unassign skill points, and in turn. 1.2k. Alrighty, there we go. So, last unit swaps. First of all, 2 Wraithstorm Carronades will be wanted in Maddie's army. We have... Okay, 1, 2... Wait, let's see. 1, 2. Take 2 of the Batwing Bombards. Actually, probably should be 3, but do this for now. There will be some changes in some of these armies. As we go, because this army will obviously also need heroes, at the very least probably 2 Vampire Fleet captains. We just no longer have the capacity for them. Maddie, you're going to have the Gallows Giant, and 2 of the Wraithstorm Carronades, and the rest will leave to Noctilus. Noctilus, you can, I guess, take back the... Well, actually, the bombers do fire damage. Get some... I don't know. It doesn't really matter. I'll just take a couple of the zombie-powered gunnery mobs. Like so. And then Maddie's army is maxed out. Not completely maxed out. There will obviously also be changes here, but for our purposes right now. And Noctilus, so you will take the other Batwing Bombard from this army, because this isn't an artillery army, it's a melee army, but I do like the idea of the Carronades. 2 Wraithstorm Carronades, 2 Wraithstorm Carronades, they just provide support for the range. And we'll see. Time to finally move. Alright, now we need to go... I assume we can land, so let's leave this territory. And... I think we're able to attack it directly immediately, although I wanted to drag them out. I assume this place doesn't have walls, does it? Adds walls to the settlement? No. I want this to be a huge field battle. Let us attack this guy instead then. So what we'll do is we will land here. I assume this is landing. Yes. Then we'll pop into encamp stance as soon as we get a little bit closer, and then we'll want to attack Changeal afterwards. Go here. Assuming they don't immediately declare war on us, who knows. And then you guys will do the same thing. And we're gonna have to pick and choose which units we send to fight and which units stay there, but it's fine. Alright, and you guys are all going to follow Noctilus. You can just land. Alright, so go right here. Just get as close to Noctilus as you can. Noctilus can probably defend himself, but you guys will need help. So, go here. Go here. Obviously go into encamp stance so that you don't suffer attrition. And, oh right, I just realized that the Gallows Giant's gonna be a lot more expensive in this army. 200 more gold per turn. Are they near enough to each other to protect each other if needed? Let's do that. Alrighty, and they also have points. Hunger, Invocation of Nehek. We probably want to get Reanimated Marksman ASAP, but it's only a little bit of missile resistance, so it's not a huge deal. I think we'll get more mileage out of Curse of Undeath and maxing out Invocation of Nehek. You two, well, one of you is fine. You will get Cackle Fruit and All Hands Fire, and then Enchanted Ballistics and Dead Eyes. And then you... we gotta prepare just in case they immediately declare war on us. And ammo sacks for you, sir. Alright, what about you? You have 1 point remaining. In addition to the units that are held together by screws, we'll get Black Powder Overlord for the Overload. Although, I like Black Powder Overlord. For a little bit of support action, like so. Oh, physical resistance for the Ultra of the Abyss. That might be a decent option as well. We'll deal with it later. And then Noctilus. Oh, you have the chance to build the Composite Hull for more Necrofex Colossi, which we could raise in your own army, because you're gonna need them. Why not? Why not? Expensive though it may be. And we'll wait for the Krabby Boy army, because we'll need Econ again. And these guys will hopefully find it. Then you've got 2 points to yourself, sir. Let us, just in case, get Wind of Death and Pit of Shades for this fight. I don't know that we'll need them, but let's not risk it, because it's going to be a nasty one, I'm sure. Scupperum. And then you two both need levels. You can have materialistic and just get insatiable hunger, and then you can get scavenge, and that's it. Yes. Alright, and then lastly, you, evasion. Good. Heroes not moved, buildings not built, but that only takes a second. I want to see what's on this island, if there's anything interesting going on over here. I see a mysterious island here. How mysterious is this island by comparison? Malox there. Okay, so there's no landmark there, but we'll still pick it up as a base to raid everything from, and then you've got a long way to travel still. You, my treasure, you are going to double check and then land, not objectives, but looks like it's right there. Do not look upon sorrowful gods, or Isha's tears fall at you. Go right here. Is this also Skaven? No, it might be just a ruin. Interesting. Some more Skaven running around. I don't know how strong these guys are. I wonder if they're willing to trade. They are willing to trade. They're currently fighting Seducers of Slaanesh, who... Huh. They don't have a massive aversion to us? They absolutely should. Something weird's going on there. They should really dislike us, in principle. Anyway, building, and then end the turn, and then we attack, guys. I know you've been waiting. Patiently or not, it had to be done. Let's build up the tier 4 here. At the very least, it allowed us to tech forward and get these new units. End turn. Alright, there we are. Here we are at last. A brutal business. Base weapon damage for melee troops. Well, that's interesting. We'll also have to figure out which units we leave off the battlefield and which units we allow to proceed, but, well, that'll be interesting as well. You're going to go right beside Mr. Golden Change Yield, whatever, and I'm gonna hope that he doesn't run. I would be kind of disappointed if he did, but we'll see in a second. You go right here, Maddie, and then you go right here. And you did not go exactly where I told you to go. Are you in each other's way? Alright. I'm trying to make sure that they reinforce it. No. In roughly, or from roughly the same direction. Are you just not able to move anymore? Okay, this guy's being weird. Let's just attack. You're not at war with anybody because you're like clan carry and declare war. And strike. You're gonna run. Alright, well, the elites aren't in this army, they're... I should have moved only one army, but oh well. I guess we're... Oh, you know what we can do? And we can besiege it. No, you gotta be kidding me. Apparently we can't besiege it. Alright, wait, there's another option. We can still besiege it. Count Noctilus. Besiege it together with, I guess, Airy. You're gonna have to wait, I think, Maddie. Wait. I'm wondering, can these two both attack us at once? Maybe. Which of these armies is more self-sufficient? I don't think we can fight. Wait. I would like you to move out of range of Noctilus, but still in range of Airy. I got a plan. We will end the turn. This should be just out of range, right? Alright, you're gonna go right there. I hope I did this right. Where you're still in range of Airy, hopefully. No, you're still in range of both. Damn. Okay, can you move very slightly away? Noctilus, wait. I would like you to cancel, to break siege. No, I got this. I'm doing this for a reason. I would like you then to move over here. Besiege the Seamaw from this direction. The idea is this. These guys might be willing to fight 2 armies, even if they're not willing to fight 3, and if Noctilus is out of range of Maddie... like so, they might attack either this one or this one, and fight 2. Especially with the garrison involved. I think it'll work. At least I hope so. We won't be able to see all the units, but that's fine. Fine-ish. Anyway, let's upgrade, and then let's end the turn, and let's finally get this going. And plunder pile for you, please. Control is now fine, so switch to growth rate, unless I'm mistaken. What do we have here? Can upgrade the Midnight Gambling Den, but frankly, there's probably more important stuff to upgrade with more money once we have it, so let's just leave it at that. Let's end the turn, and let's assume that they'll attack us, but just in case they don't, go for the... Wait, can you build... Yes. Just in case we have to scale the walls. I assume these guys don't have a defensive structure. They don't, which means hopefully, even if we do have to make it a siege, we can still make it a cinematic one. I'll leave them there, let them sally out. Hopefully they don't ambush us with their ambush stance. There is that potential. But if they do, they do. I'm willing to risk it now. Any right that we need here? Anything that stop them from ambushing? Oh, probably could have used this. Well, we could still use this after we take the place. Yeah, just ignore everything. Missile focus. 5 turns. Wait, 5 turn... Oh, they're both 5 turns. Okay. I gotta be honest, I can't believe they didn't sally out. Okay, we can fight some one-on-ones with these armies, it's fine. I don't mind. I don't mind at all. Who gets to fight what? We can... Wait. So you can't go after this army by the looks of it, at least not from here, but I assume neither one of you can. Noctilus can attack the Seamaw, we'll just do both battles. We got command crews completed, let's go Admirals, Astrolabes, and gunnery crews. It's not like we need the research rate anymore, as we'll be getting both. Airy, can you reach this, or... Do you cross into the sea and then... we should still possibly be able to attack you. In theory. In theory. I guess we'll see. Alright, give it a try. Maddie, I guess you're going then. Go right here. And then land. And then attack. Alright, this one will fight, and hopefully we'll pull it off. The spawns of Tzeentch are going to be a bit of an issue, but we do have the handgunners in this army, so they should be okay, though their range is reduced by 10 as compared to Noctilus's army. Go. Alrighty, here we go, and we are on the Maelstrom map, which has always been very flashy and fantastic. I've always loved this map and fighting on it, so I'm definitely going to enjoy this one. And that enjoyment will be increased by our new arrivals, the Corpse Gas Spewer units. Who are essentially like, oh, would you look at that? They're like deck gunners, but they have the Skaven like mask sort of deal. Really nice. That's a quality modded unit. Let's see what they look like when they fire. We will shortly. Why do they even need gas masks? They're zombies. I suppose maybe if it's a corrosive or something, who knows, which very well could be. Anyway, here we go, gonna try to set up real quick in front of the enemy army to actually be able to fire upon them as they move in. Looks like the enemy lord, and Change Eel Gold something. Change Eel Golden Feathered will start a blue fire spam, but it's alright. We got magical artillery of our own in the form of our Wraithstorm Carronades, who, by the looks of it, have done a little bit of damage, but have slowed down and debuffed the enemy lord, which means as soon as he moves just a little bit closer, he's going to get hit with a ton of range fire from our handgunners. The Gallows Giant, getting that flamethrower going. And speaking of flamethrowers or flamethrower adjacent units, there we go, the Corpse Spewers. Corpse Gas Spewers, whatever. Corpse Spewers. Sounds like a catapult or cannon that fires corpses. Anyway, Corpse Gas Spewers going as well, and I do like that color scheme. Very, very nice. Well, the battle is joined by the looks of it. The Corpse Gas Spewers absolutely obliterating blue horrors with no issue whatsoever, having a little bit more struggle against the piles of spawn of Tzeentch. Although part of that is probably because our own units are blocking them, and we're probably going to do quite a lot of damage to our own blobs of units with this. But that's fine. That's what zombies are for. I'll let the zombies go, but keep the
keep the deck gunners, or the equipment essentially, around. Ooh, love that close combat flame coming down from the gallows giant as well. Lightning crackling in the background as we fight in the water, which is also giving all of our aquatic units an advantage. And this is definitely going our way, though I think a few of our zombie pirate gunnery mob units at the front line have melted away due to the danger of our own units. Ah, this is beautiful. I am definitely going to enjoy these units. I'll probably put at least a couple more in a couple of other armies. Certainly argument to be made for it. For example, in a melee army, we could put a couple in. And we're definitely going to do an army that's basically all different types of range units: hand cannons, hand cannons, deck gunners, hand gunners, etc., etc., etc. See how they combine. Should be pretty fun. Not so much for the Tzeentchens, however, who have been absolutely obliterated at the cost of our frontline zombies, perhaps, but definitely worth it, and I'm excited to see more from the corpse gas spewers, who, by the looks of it, did pretty darn well. Ah, man, do I love flamethrower units. They are just so fun, and I was very happy with the corpse gas spewers. Can't wait to get more fire stuff in this army for a more combination of igniting those things. Otherwise, we did lose a couple of our unit of regular zombie pirate gunnery mobs, but they were there to take the hits, and take the hits they did. Frankly, Let the wager, a lot of the hits they did take was from our own corpse gas spewers, so there is that to consider as well. We are going to ransom captives. We need all the cash we can get, and this army is by and large and destroyed anyway. I do wonder if these guys are going to try to land and attack us, since their faction is pretty much done for. You can encamp. Lovely. And Dragonbane Jam. Kind of an ironic find, though, if there's something we can, yeah, you know what, get rid of the Luckstone, fuse it with. We get another Fencer's Blades. Nice. Fencer's Blades, decent pickups for any lord. We'll redo itemization next episode, I think. As, well, obviously we've been sort of sending various units and heroes around to various armies as they've been swapping around. We don't really need you to attack this, but there's some units that I'd like to try out. This is still a very elite garrison. Tons of those flamers, and exalted pink cores, and I think still very much worth the fight, even if we outnumber the enemy. It should still be a pretty darn fun one, I'd wager, and we'll be actually sending those depth guard up the walls, together with everything else, though Noctilus will no longer be able to go up there. Sadly, the Necrophex can't climb walls, although that is a horrifying thought. Anyway, one more fight. Alrighty, here we go. Apparently it is, in fact, the same Galleon's Graveyard map, and while I do love the map, I am very slightly annoyed by the fact that the game lied about the whole siege equipment thing, as we neither need it nor will use it here. There are no walls, just the natural barriers of the Galleon's Graveyard. Anyway, or the Maelstrom spinning in the background as it does. Anyway, here we go. We've got our depth guard in numbers now, at least, well, with 4 of them. We'll, of course, add more, including the Regiment of Renown, but this should be pretty fun. And we have the Halberd variant now as well, to be able to take down all those larger units of the enemy, as they have brought plenty of Flamers of Tzeentch, as well as plenty of... There we go, Chaos Spawn. Now, the first thing that we're targeting, by far the biggest threat on the field, and yes, Flamers are extremely dangerous, but the Soul Grinders with their magical javelins can do insane amounts of damage. Just borrowed a couple of them, or have a couple of them in the Chaos Dwarfs campaign, and they were absolutely insane. So, we're going to focus them down and obliterate them rather quick. How are these demons dying so quick, you ask? Well, while the Wraithstorm Carronades do less damage than regular Carronades, they do have magical damage on them, which means high damage against physically resistant demonic units, which works out rather nicely for us. In this particular situation, at any rate. Anyway, gonna keep dousing the enemy in our own magical flames to fight back against theirs, and it looks like they are having a fairly bad time moving towards us under all of this artillery fire. Tzeentchen Sky or no. We also have our depth guard who are gonna move in together with those shrines of the depths, which in water are going to keep our depth guard healed, and thus get double the amount of healing compared to normal. As they, obviously the depth guard also have the hunger. And there we go, Flamers of Tzeentch are not going to achieve anything at this rate, as they get obliterated by the halberdiers. And I do enjoy these abyssal shrines as well with our units, and the fact that they can actually keep pace with the depth guard. Now, a little bit of an error here. I decided to summon the units of Fellbats. Or explosive Fellbats. What happened? A single shot from Queen Bess instantly collided with the summoned units, just as they were summoned at the exact wrong time. What this means is that they all died, or most of them died, and then fall to the ground below and explode on top of all of our artillery, taking half, even more than half, 70% of their HP. In fact, this one looks like it's in critical binding. Oh no, it's not great. But what can you do? Too late to do anything about it now. Some of the explosion bats survived. Definitely going to have to be careful with that maneuver in the future. I figured we wouldn't need 50% of our ammunition in this particular battle, so we might as well summon them and explode some, I don't know, pink horrors or something, but yeah. There we go, they'll explode a few pink horrors out here, at least those units that survived, just to help out the single Mourngul Haunter that was holding the enemy flank, or our flank. That the enemy was trying to flank, right? You know what I mean. Anyway, with that, the battle is pretty much ours. The bounce of power, just a sliver barely visible in the enemy's favor. Looks like a few of the Chaos Spawn were still attempting to fight, but they have no chance against Depth Guard, whether it be Twin Axe or Polearm. Especially with the buffs provided by the, well, actually there's a bunch of units that are there buffing them, so that's nice. Anyway, it looks like the last of the enemy units will be the Unbreakable Chaos Spawn. Of course, Noctilus still fighting them in melee with the point-blank shots of the Necrofex Colossi. Now, when the Necrofex Colossus fires in melee, like close combat fires, does it use its melee weapon strength, or does it use its range weapon strength? I assume it uses its melee weapon strength for that, but I'm not sure. I mean, it is firing its range weapon when it's like that, and there are a bunch of range units that fire in close combat as well, but I wonder specifically about the Necrofex Colossus. Because it does a ton of damage in terms of range and hits a lot harder than it does in melee. Not that it's a slouch in melee, mind you. As I'm sure the Chaos Spawn could attest if they could attest about anything, or to anything. Not so much because they're dead, which they will be, and are, but because they're obviously insensate and incapable of thought anymore. Anyway, there we go. With that, the Chaos Spawner, done, and the last of the Tzeentchen army will fall, in giving the Maelstrom and ownership of the entirety of nearly the entire location to us. Lovely. It took a little bit of effort to get here, certainly, with the recruits and all that, but we made it. Alright, there we go. Yeah, so it wasn't the siege location, but okay. But why did it allow us to build the siege equipment? It got me. If I had known that, we would have been able to fight all the enemy armies at once rather than having them. Well, actually, one of them would still have escaped, but yeah. Anyway, nonetheless, it was a pretty fun fight, minus almost destroying all of our own artillery by summoning bats on top of them. The bats promptly getting hit by artillery and exploding, and would have been a heck of a way to go, though. I would have still gotten a laugh out of it. I would have been a lot less salty because I did it to myself then. Well, I guess I'm still salty about the Altar of the Abyss. From that one on to resolve. Anyway, the enemy army is destroyed. Victory for Noctilus, and raise. Now, and of course we will occupy the SEMA and get it up and running at tier 4 immediately. Oh, lovely. The Maelstrom is ours. A new treasure map has been found as well, so we'll want to double check on that. Treasure maps. The new one is, okay, this one I don't think we can reach. Unless I'm mistaken, there are no sea lanes near here. The closest one is all the way down here, and it'll take like 20 turns to do that. That's silly. Never gonna happen. So goodbye. The others are at least reachable. And now, speaking of the others, while we're at it, we'll take a look at the settlement in a second. I just want to make sure that we dig this up because I should have done this last turn. Okay, wrong one. I should have done this last turn. It was here, right? I think it's here. Yes, a great hoard of treasure and 10,000 gold and fencer's blades, and then you can move on down here where the second one is. You, I believe, are still a fair distance, though you've nearly reached Albion, still traveling fairly far, which is lovely. And actually, just to double check, got 4 turns to declare war upon the Darkness Daughters. Keep moving. I don't see any islands nearby, assuming that these aren't actually islands. Castle Lyonesse is here. Maybe I should have gone by Bordelot to see whether we can get the Bordelot harbor and if we get anything interesting out of it, but it's not a big deal. Anyway, you still got a long ways to travel up here to get the treasure, but well, working and doing something. Anyway, the SEMA, and oh, we did not get to keep this because it is a tier 5. Surprisingly, doesn't give us any additional capacity for this is kind of funny. So it gives us the ability to recruit Necrofex Colossi, but does not buff Necrofex Colossi, and presumably recruitment cost for artillery doesn't apply to it either since it's an artillery monster, and possibly this doesn't apply to it either? And it doesn't increase their capacity, which is a bit odd, but oh well. Not a big deal. Doesn't matter over much. We do need to build a bunch of stuff here, and I'm not sure that we'll be keeping all of what we've got. Some of it, however, might be worth keeping because don't collect the income for now. Well, let's build it up in terms of control and in fact Noctilus. You can't go into parlay stance, can you? Let's do that. Parlay. Oh. Noctilus, leave the settlement. You can be in parlay in the settlement, yes, yes. And then Noctilus, you can go flagship expansion. Maddie will chase down these guys. They might even attack her, who knows, and hopefully knock them out. And what we'll want to do shortly, next turn, is get the recruiter admiral up and running, this guy, and start him off on recruiting at the SEMA while we still have the missile focus for 1 turn, and start working on a ranged army with deck gunners, blackjack, etc. And yeah, we do want a all-ranged army, all gunnery mobs. We're handgunners and there's an argument to be made for mixing handgunners together with deck droppers with guns, though depending, do you actually buff deck droppers with guns? No. So this could be a mixed artillery and ranged army, and then we could do another army that's ranged and deck droppers. Might be interesting as well. Yes. Good, Ruinous, good. Alright, well, we'll figure that out. Unfortunately, with that, we are out of time. We've taken the SEMA and achieved the main objective for this particular episode. Next time, we wipe out the Golden Stewards for good real quick, and then declare war on these guys, wipe them out as well, and then send our newly minted 3 armies in 3 separate directions to do 3 separate things. Might have to send Noctilus all the way to Sartosa to pick it up for ourselves, depending. And we gotta get to hunting down those pieces of 8, and of course with the new lord, hopefully we can recruit them a new army real quick. We also just gotta finish up with this so that Noctilus can trade his stuff to the new guy. Though it'll take a while to get the harpoon launcher up and running, admittedly. But this thing doesn't cost anything, so in fact if we build the bulk cargo hold now, since this thing is free, we can actually give the the ship's carpenter construction cost to our first legendary admirals, all 4 of which we are raising as soon as possible. Now that we command nearly all of this, we can sort of shift to the second stage of the campaign, less conquest, less establishing a pirate empire, and more just good old-fashioned pirating. And okay, yeah, well, we'll build the buildings at the start of next episode, so stay tuned for more Noctilus. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, especially the threshold for the longer episodes. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.